Ever wonder how people actually make money in real estate? It's not just about flipping houses like you see on TV. It's a lot more interesting than that. Today, we're going to break down the 4 main ways real estate builds wealth. And by the end of this video, you'll see the entire big picture. So, grab a coffee and let's dive into the real secrets of real estate investing. First up, the one everyone knows, or at least thinks they know, cash flow. This is the simplest concept to grasp. Cash flow is the money you have left over from your rental income after you VA paid all the bills. So, imagine you own a rental property and you collect $2,000 a month in rent. Now, you have expenses. There's the mortgage payment, let's say that's $1,000. Then there's property tax, maybe $200 a month, and insurance, let's call it $100. You also have to set aside money for repairs and maintenance because things will break. Let's say you budget $200 a month for that. And if you have a property manager, they'll take a cut, maybe another $200. So, you add up all those expenses, $1,000 for the mortgage, $200 for taxes, $100 for insurance, $200 for repairs, and $200 for property management. That's a total of $1,700 in expenses. You subtract that from your $2,000 in rent, and you're left with $300. That's your positive cash flow for the month. It's money in your pocket every single month, just for owning the property. It might not sound like a life-changing amount, but imagine having 10 properties all doing that. That's $3,000 a month of passive income. That's the power of cash flow. It's the engine that keeps your investment running and paying you while you wait for the other wealth generators to kick in. Next, let's talk about appreciation. This is where things get really exciting. Appreciation is simply the increase in your property's value over time. Real estate, historically, has been a fantastic long-term investment. While markets can go up and down in the short term, over decades, property values tend to rise. Think about a house that was bought for $50,000 in the 1980s. What do you think it's worth today? Probably hundreds of thousands, maybe even over $1 million, depending on the location. That's appreciation in action. It is not just a guessing game. Several factors drive this growth. Population growth means more people need a place to live, which increases demand for housing. Inflation also plays a huge role. As the value of money decreases, the price of hard assets like real estate tends to go up. And then there's development in the area. New schools, shopping centers, or major companies moving in can dramatically boost property values. So while your cash flow pays the bills, appreciation is quietly building your net worth in the background. It's like planting a tree. You don't see it grow day by day, but over 10, 20, or 30 years, you'll be amazed at how big it gets. This is the long game of real estate investing. Now for my personal favorite, and what I call the supercharger of real estate returns. Leverage. This is a concept that truly separates real estate from many other investments like stocks. Leverage means using other people's money, usually the banks, to buy an asset. Let's say you want to buy a $500,000 property. You don't need to have all $500,000 in cash. You might only need to put down 20%, which is $100,000. The bank lends you the other $400,000. Now, here's the magic. You'll put down $100,000, but you get to benefit from the full appreciation of the entire $500,000 asset. Let's say the property value goes up by 5% in 1 year. That's a $20,000 increase in value. But you only invested $100,000 of your own money. So, your return on your cash investment isn't 5%, it's 25%. That's a $20,000 gain on your $100,000 investment. That's the power of leverage. It magnifies your returns. And there's another amazing part to this. While you're enjoying that appreciation, who is paying back the bank loan? Your tenants. Their rent payments cover your mortgage, so they are essentially buying the asset for you over time. This is called amortization. Every month, a portion of that mortgage payment reduces the loan balance, increasing your equity, which is the part of the property you truly own. It's a beautiful cycle. Finally, we have the 4th wealth generator, which is often overlooked but incredibly powerful. Tax benefits. The government loves real estate investors, and they offer some amazing incentives. One of the biggest is depreciation. Even if your property is going up in value, for tax purposes, the government lets you depreciate the value of the building over 27.5 years. This isn't real money out of your pocket, it's a phantom expense on paper. This depreciation deduction can be used to offset your rental income. Remember that $300 a month in cash flow. Because of depreciation, you might legally show a loss on your tax return. Meaning, you could pay 0 income tax on that cash flow. It's a huge advantage. Another major tax benefit is the ability to defer capital gains. Tax through something called a 1031 exchange. This means when you sell a profitable investment property, you can roll those profits into another, similar property without immediately paying taxes on the gain. This allows your investment to grow tax-deferred, compounding much faster over time. And let's not forget, you can also deduct many of your expenses, like mortgage interest, property taxes, insurance, repairs, and property management fees. All of these deductions lower your taxable income, saving you a lot of money come tax time. So let's put it all together. You buy a property using leverage, putting down just a fraction of the cost. Your tenant's rent creates cash flow that pays your mortgage and expenses. As they pay the mortgage, they are building your equity for you. Meanwhile, the property is appreciating in value over the long term, building your net worth. And on top of all that, you get incredible tax benefits like depreciation that let you keep more of your money. It's this powerful combination of cash flow, appreciation, leverage, and tax advantages that makes real estate such a unique and effective way to build serious wealth. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-for-sure plan if you're patient and strategic. It's about understanding the big picture and letting these four forces work together for you over time. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to find amazing real estate deals while others struggle just to find a place to live? The big part of it is understanding the fundamental difference between buying a home for yourself and buying a property as an investment. They might both involve houses, but the mindset, the goals, and the entire process are worlds apart. So whether you're looking for your dream home or your next big investment, you'll know exactly how to think. First, let's talk about buying a home to live in. This is an emotional journey. You're not just buying four walls and a roof. You're buying a lifestyle, a community, a future. You think about things like, is the kitchen big enough for family gatherings? Or is there a good school nearby for the kids? You're picturing your life in that space. You fall in love with the charming details. The backyard where you'll have barbecues, the cozy nook where you'll read a book. The primary goal here is comfort, happiness, and stability. You're looking for a place that feels like home. Because of this emotional connection, homebuyers often pay a premium for features that resonate with them personally, even if those features don't add a lot of monetary value. A unique paint color or a custom-built treehouse might seal the deal for you, but an investor would see those as costs to be changed. Now, let's completely switch gears and put on our investor hat. When you're buying an investment property, emotion is your enemy. The number one rule is that the numbers have to work. An investor doesn't ask, "Can I see myself living here?" They ask, "Will this property generate positive cash flow?" They're looking at things like rental income potential, operating expenses, capitalization rates, and return on investment. The property isn't a home. It's an asset in a portfolio. It's a business. Does it have a quirky layout? Who cares? As long as it rents. It's the neighborhood your personal favorite. Doesn't matter. As long as the rental demand is strong and vacancy rates are low. An investor is detached, analytical, and purely focused on the financial performance. They're looking for a workhorse, not a show pony. Let's dive deeper into the financial perspective. A home buyer secures a mortgage, and their primary financial concern is the monthly payment. Can they afford it? Does it fit their budget alongside other life expenses? The appreciation of the home's value is often seen as a long-term bonus, not the primary goal. For an investor, the financial calculation is much more complex. They start with the potential rental income. From that, they subtract all expenses, the mortgage principal and interest, property taxes, insurance, a budget for maintenance and repairs, property management fees, and a vacancy allowance. What's left is the cash flow. If that number is negative, it's generally a bad investment, no matter how nice the house is. The goal is for the tenant's rent to cover all the costs and still leave a profit in the investor's pocket each month. Another key difference is the approach to the property itself. A homeowner might spend a fortune on high-end finishes, marble countertops, expensive hardwood floors, a spa-like bathroom. They do this for their own enjoyment. An investor, on the other hand, looks for durability and cost-effectiveness. They'll choose luxury vinyl plank flooring over delicate hardwood because it can withstand tenants better. They'll use neutral, durable paint. The goal of any renovation for an investor is to increase rental income or property value by more than the cost of the renovation itself. It's all about ROI, or return on investment. A homeowner's renovation is about return on enjoyment. Think about the location. 2. A home buyer might choose a quiet cul-de-sac far from the city center for peace and privacy. They prioritize school districts, park access, and a sense of community. An investor might target a location near a university or a major hospital because it guarantees a steady stream of potential tenants. They look at job growth, population trends, and local infrastructure projects. Proximity to public transportation might be more important to an investor than the quality of the local elementary school, depending on their target renter demographic. question is always, who will rent this, and what do they need? Not, what do I want? The timeline is also completely different. A home buyer typically plans to live in their home for many years, maybe even decades. They're putting down roots. This long-term perspective allows them to ride out fluctuations in the real estate market. An investor has a more defined exit strategy. Are they planning to hold the property for long-term cash flow? Or are they looking to do a fix and flip, where they buy, renovate, and sell quickly for a profit? Their strategy dictates the type of property they buy, the financing they use, and the market they enter. They need to know how and when they're going to get their money out. So, what does this all mean for you? Understanding this distinction is crucial. If you're house hunting for yourself, allow yourself to get a little emotional. It's okay to fall in love with a home. But don't let those emotions cause you to overpay or ignore serious red flags. Always get a home inspection and be realistic about what you can afford. On the other hand, if you're thinking about getting into real estate investing, you need to learn to take your emotions out of the equation. Create a spreadsheet, run the numbers. Be ruthless in your analysis. Your first investment property probably won't be your dream home, and that's exactly the point. It's a tool for building wealth. A great way to practice this investor mindset, even if you're just looking for a home, is to ask yourself, if I had to move out next year and rent this place out, would it be a good rental? This forces you to think about the property from a different angle. It makes you consider its appeal to a broader audience, its locations, rental demand, and its potential for generating income. This simple mental exercise can provide a valuable reality check and prevent you from making a purely emotional decision that you might regret later. It bridges the gap between the homeowner and the investor. In the end, buying a home is about finding your place in the world. Buying an investment is about building your financial future. Both are incredible, life-changing goals. The key to success in either one is knowing which hat you're wearing and thinking accordingly. Don't confuse a home for a business, and don't try to live in your spreadsheet. By understanding the different mindsets, you'll be far better equipped to navigate the exciting world of real estate and achieve your goals, whatever they may be. We'll break down how a mortgage isn't just a loan to buy a house, but a form of leverage that can supercharge your financial journey. First, let's get a core concept straight. Good debt versus bad debt. It's actually pretty simple. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. Think of credit card debt from buying things you don't need, or a car loan for a vehicle that's rapidly losing value. These debts cost you interest and don't provide any financial return. On the other hand, good debt puts money into your pocket or increases your net worth over time. This is debt used to acquire assets that appreciate in value or generate income. A student loan for a high-earning career, a business loan to start a profitable company, and yes, a mortgage to buy a home are all classic examples of good debt. So, how exactly is a mortgage good debt? It's all about leverage. Leverage is just a fancy word for using borrowed money to increase the potential return of an investment. Let's use a simple example. Imagine you have $50,000 in cash. You could use it to buy a piece of land outright. If that land's value goes up by 10% in a year, you've made $5,000. That's a 10% return on your investment. Not bad? But what if you used that same $50,000 as a down payment on a $500,000 house? You've borrowed the other $450,000 from the bank. Now, let's say the housing market is strong, and your property value also increases by 10% in 1 year. Your $500,000 house is now worth $550,000. You've made a $50,000 gain in equity. But here's the magic. You only put in $50,000 of your own money. So, your return on investment isn't 10%. It's a whopping 100%. You made $50,000 from an initial $50,000. That is the power of leverage. You're controlling a large, appreciating asset with a relatively small amount of your own capital. Of course, leverage is a double-edged sword. If the property value went down by 10%, your loss would also be magnified. That's why it's crucial to buy in a stable or growing market and not overextend yourself. But historically, over the long term, real estate has consistently proven to be a fantastic appreciating asset. Beyond simple appreciation, a mortgage offers other incredible benefits. First, you get to live in the asset while it grows in value. You're not just staring at a stock certificate. You're building a life and creating memories in your investment. This is what we call forced savings. Every month, when you make your mortgage payment, a portion of it goes towards paying down the principal of the loan. This directly increases your equity, which is the part of the house you actually own. It's like automatically putting money into a savings account that you can't easily touch. For many people, this becomes their largest source of savings over their lifetime, simply by paying their housing bill. Let's compare this to renting. When you pay rent, that money is gone forever. You're essentially paying someone else's mortgage and helping them build their wealth. 100% of your rent payment goes to your landlord. When you own, a significant portion of your monthly payment is building your own net worth. Think about it. Over 30 years, a renter will have nothing to show for hundreds of thousands of dollars in payments, while a homeowner will own a valuable asset, likely free and clear. Another key advantage is that mortgage debt is often cheap debt. Interest rates on mortgages are typically much lower than rates on credit cards or personal loans because the loan is secured by a tangible asset, the house itself. If you default, the bank can take the house. This security for the lender translates into a better deal for you, the borrower. Plus, in many countries, including the United States, the interest you pay on your mortgage is tax deductible, which lowers your effective interest rate even further. You're essentially getting a discount from the government to borrow money and buy a home. Now, let's talk about turning this into real wealth. The first property is just the beginning. As you pay down your mortgage and the property appreciates, you build equity. This equity is not just a number on paper, it's a financial resource you can tap into. Once you have a significant amount of equity, you can take out a home equity line of credit, or a HELOC. This is like a credit card that uses your home as collateral, but with much lower interest rates. What do you do with this newfound capital? You use it as a down payment on another property? This is how real estate investors scale their portfolios. You use the equity from your first leveraged asset to acquire a second leveraged asset. Now you have two properties appreciating in value, and if the second one is a rental, you have tenants paying down your mortgage for you. This creates a snowball effect. The rental income pays for the second property's expenses, and any extra is positive cash flow in your pocket. Meanwhile, both properties are hopefully growing in value, and you're paying down the principal on two loans, building equity in two places at once. You can repeat this process over and over, using the equity from your growing portfolio to buy more and more properties. This is how many self-made millionaires have built their fortunes, not with a high-paying job, but by strategically using mortgage debt to acquire income-producing, appreciating assets. It's important to remember that this strategy requires careful planning and financial discipline. You need a good credit score to qualify for favorable loans. You need a stable income to make your payments. And you need an emergency fund to cover unexpected repairs or vacancies if you're a landlord. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-deliberately plan that unfolds over years and even decades. So let's recap the power of a mortgage. It's good debt that allows you to use leverage, controlling a large asset with a small down payment, magnifying your returns. It acts as a forced savings plan, building your equity with every payment. The interest is often low and tax deductible. And finally, the equity you build becomes the fuel to acquire more assets, creating a wealth-building cycle. Instead of fearing debt, we need to learn how to use it wisely. A mortgage isn't a burden. It's arguably the single most powerful tool for the average person to turn debt into wealth and build a secure financial future. With the market constantly changing, you might be wondering, is it still a good investment? Is it still the key to building wealth, like our parents and grandparents told us? The short answer is yes. I'm going to break down exactly why real estate remains the #1 wealth-building tool in the United States. For over a century, real estate has been a cornerstone of American wealth. Think about it. From the post-war boom that saw suburbs sprang up across the country to the urban revitalization happening in our cities today, owning property has consistently been a pathway to financial security. Unlike a lot of other investments that can be flashy and volatile, real estate has this incredible track record of long-term appreciation. Sure, we've seen market downturns, like in 2008, those times can be scary, no doubt. But what does history show us? It shows us that the market always recovers, and over the long haul, continues to climb. If you look at a graph of U.S. home prices over the last 50 or 60 years, you'll see dips, but the overall trend is a steady, powerful march upward. This historical performance isn't just a fluke. It's a testament to the fundamental demand for a place to live. People will always need a roof over their heads, and that creates a baseline of demand that supports property values. Now, let's talk about one of the most powerful and often misunderstood aspects of real estate: leverage. This is a game changer. Imagine you want to buy $100,000 worth of stocks. And here's the magic. When that property appreciates in value, you get the gains on the entire $500,000. Not just the $100,000 you put down. So, if the house value goes up by just 5% in a year, that's a $25,000 increase in your equity. On your initial $100,000 investment, that's a 25% return. Where else can you find that kind of return with this level of stability? This power of leverage is what allows you to build wealth at an accelerated rate compared to other investments. You're using the bank's money to make yourself money. Another key reason real estate is so effective is what we call forced savings. When you have a mortgage, you're required to make a payment every single month. Part of that payment goes toward interest, but a significant portion goes toward paying down your principal, the actual loan balance. Each time you make a payment, you're building equity in your home. It's like a built-in savings plan that you don't even have to think about. For many people, this is the most disciplined and effective way they save money. Years down the line, you look up and realize you've paid off a substantial chunk of your home, creating a massive asset for yourself. And let's not forget the cash flow. If you decide to rent out your property, you're not just waiting for appreciation. You're generating monthly income. The goal for any investor is to have the rental income cover the mortgage, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. With some left over, this extra cash is passive income that comes in every month, whether you're working, sleeping, or on vacation. As you acquire more properties, this cash flow can grow to a point where it can replace your primary income, giving you true financial freedom. Plus, as the years go by and you pay down the mortgage, that cash flow increases and your return on investment skyrockets. Now for a really big one, especially in today's economic climate: inflation. We've all felt the pinch of rising prices, from gas to groceries. Inflation erodes the value of your cash. That $100 bill in your wallet buys less today than it did last year. But real estate acts as a powerful hedge against inflation. Why? Because as the cost of living goes up, so do rents and property values. If you have a fixed-rate mortgage, your monthly housing payment stays the same for 30 years. But as inflation resaws, the value of those dollars you're paying with decreases. In essence, you're paying back your loan with cheaper money over time. Meanwhile, the rent you can charge for your property will typically increase with inflation, meaning your income goes up while your biggest expense stays fixed. Your asset, the property itself, also tends to increase in value right along with inflation, or even outpace it. This dual benefit makes real estate one of the best places to protect and grow your wealth during inflationary periods. Let's talk about the unique stability of real estate. Unlike the stock market, which can swing wildly based on a tweet or a news headline, real estate is a tangible, physical asset. You can see it, you can touch it, you can live in it, or rent it out. It's not some abstract number on a screen. This tangibility provides a sense of security that you just don't get with other investments. People don't panic sell their homes in the same way they might panic sell stocks during a market dip. The transaction costs and the time it takes to buy or sell a house naturally encourage a long-term perspective, which is exactly the mindset you need for successful investing. The government also loves homeowners and real estate investors. There are significant tax advantages that are specifically designed to encourage property ownership. For instance, you can deduct your mortgage interest and property taxes from your taxable income. This can save you thousands of dollars every year. For investors, the benefits are even greater. You can deduct nearly every expense associated with owning and managing a rental property, including repairs, insurance, property management fees, and even travel costs to visit your property. And one of the most powerful tax benefits is depreciation. The IRS allows you to deduct a portion of your property's value each year as a paper loss, even if your property is cash flowing and going up in value. This can often reduce your taxable income from the property to zero, or even create a loss that can offset other income. These tax benefits are a massive wealth accelerator that's almost exclusive to real estate. So when you put it all together, the historical track record of appreciation, the incredible power of leverage, the forced savings of paying a mortgage, the potential for passive cash flow, the hedge against inflation, the inherent stability, and the massive tax advantages, it becomes crystal clear why real estate is such an unbeatable tool for building long-term wealth. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It requires patience, research, and a long-term vision. But for those who are willing to put in the effort, the rewards can be life-changing. It's about creating a secure financial future for yourself and your family, one property at a time. It's about building a legacy that can last for generations. The American dream of homeownership is alive and well. And it's much more than just a dream. It's a proven strategy for financial success. We'll break down the 4 key phases of a market cycle and, most importantly, talk about when you should consider buying, holding, or selling. Now, a lot of people get fixated on the price of a stock or an asset. They ask, is it cheap or is it expensive? But here's the secret sauce. Timing the market cycle often matters more than the exact price you pay. Getting the timing right can be the difference between incredible gains and painful losses. So, grab a coffee, get comfortable, and let's unravel the rhythm of the market. First up, let's define what a market cycle is. Think of it like the 4 seasons. You have spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The market behaves in a similar way, moving through predictable, though not perfectly timed, phases. These phases are accumulation, markup, distribution, and markdown. Every market, whether it's stocks, real estate, or crypto, goes through these cycles. They can last for months or even years. The key isn't to predict the exact top or bottom, that's a fool's game. The goal is to identify which phase we're currently in, because that knowledge gives you a massive strategic advantage. It tells you whether you should be aggressive, defensive, or just patient. Let's start with the first phase, accumulation. This is the winter of the market. It happens right after a big crash or a prolonged downturn. The general mood is awful. News headlines are filled with doom and gloom. Most retail investors have given up, sold their holdings at a loss, and sworn off investing forever. They think the market is only going down. But behind the scenes, something important is happening. The smart money, the institutional investors, the seasoned pro starts to quietly buy. They see value where others see risk. Prices are low, valuations are attractive, and the worst of the selling is likely over. This is the point of maximum pessimism. Visually, the price chart looks flat. It's not making new lows, but it's not really going up either. It's just bouncing along the bottom. Buying during the accumulation phase feels scary. It goes against every instinct. But this is where the foundation for future wealth is laid. This is the season of planting seeds. After the quiet accumulation comes the exciting part, the markup phase. This is spring and summer combined. The market has stabilized, and slowly but surely, prices start to climb. Early on, the public is still skeptical. They might call it a sucker's rally. But as the trend continues, optimism begins to return. Positive news stories start to appear. Economic data improves. More and more investors who were sitting on the sidelines start to feel the fear of missing out, or they jump back in, pushing prices even higher. This phase is characterized by a clear uptrend, a series of higher highs and higher lows on the chart. This is the easiest time to make money. Greed starts to overtake fear. Everyone feels like a genius because almost everything they buy goes up. For those who bought during accumulation, this is the holding period. You let your winners run. For those just getting in, it's still a good time to buy, especially during the early to mid stages of the markup. The trend is your friend. Now, every party has to end. And that brings us to the third phase, distribution. This is the autumn of the market. After a long and powerful run-up, the market starts to show signs of exhaustion. Prices are at all-time highs. The public is euphoric. Everyone is talking about their stock market gains. Taxi drivers are giving you stock tips. It feels like the good times will never end. This is the point of maximum optimism. But just like in the accumulation phase, the smart money is doing the opposite of the crowd. They start to quietly sell their positions to the enthusiastic but late-to-the party public. The buying pressure from the public is still strong enough to absorb the selling, so prices don't crash immediately. Instead, the market churns sideways in a volatile range. On a chart, it looks similar to the accumulation phase, but it's happening at the top of the market, not the bottom. This is a critical time. For those holding, this is the time to start taking profits and reducing your risk. This isn't the time to be buying in with your life savings. The warning signs are there, but they're often ignored in the midst of the euphoria. Finally, after distribution, the inevitable happens, the markdown phase. This is the brutal winter we talked about earlier. Once the smart money has finished selling, there are no large buyers left to prop up the prices. The market rolls over, and the downtrend begins. At first, many investors are in denial. They tell themselves it's just a healthy correction, a dip to buy. They hold on, hoping for a quick rebound. But the prices keep falling. Denial turns into fear, then desperation, and finally, panic. This is when you see capitulation investors selling everything at any price just to stop the pain. The news headlines turn negative again, and the cycle of fear takes hold. This markdown phase can be fast and vicious, wiping out years of gains for those who bought at the top. This is a time when you absolutely should not be buying. The goal here is capital preservation. If you didn't sell during distribution, this is where you might be forced to sell at a loss. It's a painful but necessary lesson for many. The markdown continues until the selling is exhausted. And the market is once again priced so low that the smart money sees value, and a new accumulation phase begins. So, how do you put this all together? Let's recap the strategy. During accumulation, when everyone is pessimistic and the market is flat, you should be a strategic buyer. It's scary, but it's where the greatest opportunities are found. During the markup phase, the uptrend, you hold your positions and let them grow. You can still buy, but be aware that you're paying more than the early birds. During distribution, when everyone is euphoric and the market is churning at the top, you should be a seller. Trim your positions, take profits, and reduce your risk. This is the hardest part psychologically, because it means selling when things feel great. And finally, during the markdown phase, the downtrend, you stay on the sidelines. You hold cash and wait patiently for the bottoming process and the next accumulation phase to begin. Patience is your greatest weapon here. Remember, the goal is not to perfectly time the top or bottom. The goal is to recognize the character of the market. Ask yourself, what is the dominant emotion right now? Is it fear or is it greed? Are the headlines bearish or bullish? Is the smart money likely buying or selling? By understanding the four-stage cycle, you shift your focus from just price to the far more important factor of timing. You learn to buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. This contrarian approach is the hallmark of successful long-term investing. It's a simple concept, but it's not easy to execute because it requires you to go against your own emotions and the roar of the crowd. Mastering this cycle is a journey. You'll make mistakes, but with each cycle, you'll get better at recognizing the signs. Start paying attention to the market's sentiment, not just the price tickers. Read, learn, and observe. Over time, you'll develop a feel for the rhythm of the market, and that will make you a much more confident and profitable investor. Now, we will dive deep into one of the most powerful strategies in real estate investing: how to buy properties below market value. This is the secret sauce to building wealth quickly and safely. So, let's get into it. First, what exactly is market value? Simply put, it's the price a willing buyer would pay to a willing seller, with neither person being under pressure. It's the fair, going rate. Buying below market value means you're getting a property for less than that established price. Think of it as an instant equity boost the moment you sign the papers. This isn't just a small discount. It's a huge financial advantage from day one. This equity can be your safety net, your renovation fund, or the leverage you need for your next investment. Now, you're probably thinking, why would anyone sell their property for less than it's worth? That's the golden question, and the answer is one word: motivation. Motivated sellers are the key. These aren't your typical sellers who can wait months for the perfect offer. These are people who need to sell, and they need to sell now. Their difficult circumstances create an opportunity for a smart investor like you. So, who are these motivated sellers? One common type is someone facing financial distress, like a pre-foreclosure. They're behind on payments and want to sell before the bank takes the property. A quick, certain cash sale, even at a discount, is a massive relief and way better than a foreclosure wrecking their credit for years. Another huge category is owners of distressed properties, the fixer-uppers, the ugly ducklings on the block. The owner might not have the money, time, or desire to handle major renovations. They'd rather take a lower price and just walk away. Life changes also create motivated sellers. Think about inherited properties. Heirs, especially those living out of state, often don't want to be landlords. They'd prefer a quick, easy sale to split the money and move on. Divorces can also require a fast sale of the family home. And let's not forget tired landlords who are just done with tenants, toilets, and turnovers. They've had enough and are ready to cash out, often at a very reasonable price. So how do we find them? You can't just scroll through standard real estate listings. You need to be proactive. An old school but effective method is direct mail marketing. Send letters or postcards to specific lists, like absentee owners or people who've owned a home for a very long time. Consistency is key here. Another powerful technique is driving for dollars. You literally drive through neighborhoods and look for signs of neglect. Overgrown lawns, boarded up windows, overflowing mailboxes. These are visual cues that the owner might be struggling. Find the address, research the owner, and reach out directly. It's a bit of detective work, but it can lead to the best off-market deals. Networking is also absolutely critical. Build relationships with real estate agents, wholesalers, property managers, contractors, and attorneys. The more people who know what you're looking for, the more eyes and ears you have working for you in the market. Don't forget online resources like foreclosure listings and public county records, which can signal a motivated seller. Okay, so you've found a potential deal. What's next? The analysis phase is where you make your money. First, determine the after repair value, or ARV. This is what the property will be worth after you fix it up. Look at comps similar, recently sold properties in the area. Next, create a detailed estimate of repair costs. Be thorough. Walk the property and list everything. Get quotes from contractors and always add a contingency fund of at least 10 to 20% for unexpected surprises. Once you have your ARV and repair estimate, you can calculate your maximum allowable offer. A common formula is the 70% rule. You should pay no more than 70% of the ARV, minus the cost of repairs. So if the ARV is $300,000 and repairs are $50,000, to wrap this up, buying below market value isn't about luck. It's about a system. It's understanding motivated sellers, proactively finding them, running your numbers conservatively, and making an offer that helps both you and the seller. This is the real edge. You don't wait for deals, you create them. It takes work and persistence, but the rewards are massive. That instant equity is the foundation for building true, lasting wealth in real estate. Now, we will talk about one of the most exciting strategies in real estate investing: fix and flip. You've probably seen it on TV. Someone buys a rundown house, works some magic, and sells it for a huge profit. How are those big, lump sum profits really created? Well, stick around, because we're about to break it all down, step by step. So, what exactly is a fix and flip? An investor buys a property, usually one that needs some work, renovates it to increase its value, and then sells it quickly for a profit. Unlike traditional buy and hold investing, where you wait for the market to go up over years, with a fix and flip, you're actively creating value in a much shorter time frame, typically a few months to a year. The journey to a successful flip starts with finding the right deal. This is arguably the most critical step. You can't just buy any old house. Experienced flippers have a golden rule. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell. This means you need to buy the property at a significant discount. You're looking for what we call distressed properties. These could be foreclosures, homes from motivated sellers who need to sell quickly, or just properties that are outdated and in disrepair. Finding these gems takes work. It means networking with real estate agents, wholesalers, and even driving around neighborhoods looking for houses that look neglected, a practice we call driving for dollars. This is where a lot of beginners get into trouble. You need to be brutally honest with your calculations. The most famous rule of thumb in flipping is the 70% rule. This rule states that you should pay no more than 70% of the after repair value, or RV, of a property, minus the estimated repair costs. So, if you determine a house will be worth $300,000 after you fix it up, and you estimate the repairs will cost $40,000. Why 70%? Because that remaining 30% is your buffer. It's not all profit. It has to cover all the other costs associated with the project. Think about it. You have buying and selling costs, like agent commissions and closing fees. You have holding costs, which include things like mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, and utilities for every month you own the property. And of course, you want to build in a buffer for your own profit and for any unexpected issues that pop up. And trust me, they always do. So, you've bought the property at the right price. Now, the real fun begins, the renovation. This phase is all about maximizing your return on investment. You want to focus on updates that add the most value to the home. Kitchens and bathrooms are king. A modern, updated kitchen and a clean, fresh bathroom can make a huge impact on a buyer's decision. Other high-impact upgrades include fresh paint inside and out, new flooring, and improving the curb appeal with some simple landscaping. You're not building your dream home here. The key is to make smart, cost-effective choices that appeal to the widest range of potential buyers in that specific neighborhood. Avoid overly personal or trendy designs. Stick to neutral colors and classic finishes. Managing the renovation is a project in itself. You need to get multiple quotes from contractors, create a detailed scope of work, and establish a firm timeline. Staying on schedule and on budget is crucial. Regular check-ins and site visits will help ensure the work is being done correctly and on time. Many successful flippers build long-term relationships with a reliable team of contractors they can trust, which streamlines this process immensely. Now, let's talk about those unexpected issues. You might open up a wall and find termite damage. Maybe the plumbing is in worse shape than you thought. This is why having a contingency fund is non-negotiable. A good rule of thumb is to set aside an extra 10 to 15% of your total renovation budget for these surprises. If you don't end up using it, great, but if you do need it, you'll be so glad it's there and it won't derail your entire project. Once the dust has settled and the last coat of paint is dry, it's time for the final and most rewarding phase, selling the property. This is where all your hard work pays off. The first step is staging. A well-staged home helps buyers visualize themselves living in the space. It makes the home feel warmer, larger, and more appealing. You can hire a professional stager or do it yourself, but don't skip this step. It can genuinely help the property sell faster and for a higher price. Next, you need professional photos and a compelling listing description. In today's market, most buyers start their search online. High-quality photos are your first impression, so they need to be perfect. Work with a great real estate agent who understands the local market and has a solid marketing plan. Pricing the home correctly is also critical. You've already calculated your ARV, but you need to price it competitively based on current market conditions and comparable sales in the area. Overpricing can cause the house to sit on the market, racking up holding costs. Finally, the offers start coming in. You negotiate, accept an offer, and go through the closing process. Once the sale is final, the title company will pay off any loans you have on the property and then cut you a check for the rest. That's it. That's your lump sum profit. Let's look at a quick example. And that's how it's done. Fix and flip is an active, hands-on investment strategy that requires careful planning, smart decision-making, and a lot of hard work. But when executed correctly, it can be an incredibly powerful way to generate significant capital in a short amount of time, which you can then use to fund your next deal, invest in long-term rentals, or achieve other financial goals. It's not for everyone, but for those with the drive and the discipline, it can be a life-changing path. BRRRR is an acronym that stands for Buy, Rehab, Rent, Refinance, and Repeat. It's a cyclical process that allows you to pull your initial investment back out of a property to use it for the next one. Let's dive into each step. First up is B for Buy. This is arguably the most critical step. Your goal here isn't just to buy any property, it's to find a distressed property that you can purchase significantly below its after-repair value, or ARV. The ARV is what the home will be worth after you've fixed it up. You're looking for the ugly duckling on a great street, a house that needs work but has solid bones. The key is to buy the equity. A common rule of thumb is the 70% rule, which states you should pay no more than 70% of the ARV, minus the cost of repairs. So, if a home will be worth $300,000 after renovations, and it needs $50,000 in work, next, we have R4 Rehab. This is where you force appreciation. You take that distressed property you bought and you renovate it. The goal is to bring the property's value up to that after-repair value we just talked about. This doesn't mean you need to install gold-plated faucets. It means making smart, cost-effective upgrades that add the most value. Think kitchens, bathrooms, new flooring, and fresh paint. You need a reliable team of contractors and a solid budget. Sticking to your budget is crucial. Every dollar you go over is a dollar less you can pull out later. Meticulous planning and project management are your best friends during the rehab phase. You want to complete the renovation efficiently to minimize holding costs like insurance, utilities, and loan payments if you use short-term financing. Once the dust settles and the paint is dry, it's time for the second R. Rent. You need to place a qualified tenant in the property as quickly as possible. A vacant property costs you money every single day. A good tenant not only provides you with monthly cash flow, but is also a requirement for the next step. Lenders want to see that the property is stabilized and generating income before they'll consider refinancing. So, screen your tenants thoroughly. Check their credit, background, and rental history. Set a fair market rent that covers your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and other expenses, while still leaving you with a positive monthly cash flow. This cash flow is your profit from the rental operation itself. Now for the magic step, the third R, refinance. Specifically, you'll be doing a cash-out refinance. After the property has been rehabbed and rented, you go to a bank or a lender. They will appraise the property at its new, higher value, the ARV, based on this new appraisal. They'll give you a new, long-term loan. Most lenders will loan you up to 75% or 80% of the appraised value. Let's go back to our example. This leads us to the final and most exciting R, repeat. You now have your original capital back in your bank account. Ready to be deployed again? You take that money and go find another undervalued property. You buy it, rehab it, rent it, and refinance it. You repeat the entire process over and over. This is how investors scale their portfolios from one property to 10, 20, or even 100 properties without needing to save up a new down payment for each one. You're essentially recycling the same pile of cash to acquire more and more assets. Of course, the BRRRR method isn't without its risks. The market could shift, and your ARV might not come in as high as you projected. Your rehab budget could spiral out of control if you uncover unexpected problems. A bad tenant can cause headaches and financial loss. And financing is a huge piece of the puzzle. You need to find lenders who understand and are willing to work with this strategy, both for the initial purchase and the final refinance. It requires a lot of knowledge, a solid team, and careful calculations. But when executed correctly, BRRRR is an incredibly powerful tool for building long-term wealth. It combines the benefits of flipping forcing appreciation with the benefits of buy and hold long-term cash flow, loan amortization, and tax advantages. You're not just buying an asset, you're creating value and then leveraging that value to grow your portfolio exponentially. Rent it out to a good tenant to create cash flow. Refinance to pull your initial capital back out. And repeat the process to scale your real estate empire. It takes grit, education, and a bit of courage, but the BRRRR strategy can be a game changer for any aspiring real estate investor. Ever felt like you're just waiting for the real estate market to make you money? You buy a property, cross your fingers, and hope its value goes up over time. That's called natural appreciation, and it's basically a waiting game. But what if I told you there's a way to take control, to actively make your property more valuable, regardless of what the overall market is doing? This is the secret weapon of savvy investors, and it's called forced appreciation. Forced appreciation is all about creating value on purpose. Instead of passively waiting for market forces to lift your property's price, you get in there and make it happen yourself. It's the difference between being a passenger and being the driver of your investment journey. So, how exactly do you force a property to appreciate? It boils down to two main strategies: increasing your income and decreasing your expenses. Every dollar you add to your net operating income, or NOI, can translate into a significant jump in your property's value. Let's break down the income side first. most direct way to boost income is by increasing rent. But you can't just raise rent for no reason. You have to justify it by adding real value for your tenants. This is where renovations come in. Think about what today's renters want. Maybe it's updated kitchens with stainless steel appliances and quartz countertops. Or perhaps it's modern bathrooms with new fixtures and better lighting. Upgrading flooring from old worn-out carpet to luxury vinyl plank can instantly make a unit feel newer and cleaner. Even simple things like a fresh coat of paint, new light fixtures, or modern hardware on cabinets can make a huge difference. By making these improvements, you create a more desirable living space, which allows you to command higher rents. You're not just guessing, you're looking at comparable, renovated units in the area and bringing your property up to that standard. But renovations aren't the only way to increase income. Think outside the box. Do you have unused space on your property? Maybe you can add a storage unit for each apartment and charge a small monthly fee. If you have a multifamily building, could you install a coin-operated laundry facility? That's another stream of income. What about parking? If parking is scarce in your area, you can implement a system of reserved or covered parking spots for an extra fee. Some landlords even partner with local internet or cable companies to offer bulk services to tenants. Earning a small commission, every little bit adds up and directly contributes to your bottom line, forcing the property's value up. Now, let's talk about the other side of the equation, decreasing expenses. This is often overlooked but can be just as powerful as increasing income. Start by conducting a thorough audit of all your operating costs. Are you paying too much for property management? Shop around and see if you can find a company that offers better rates or more efficient service. How about your insurance premiums? It's a good idea to get new quotes every year or two to make sure you're re-getting the best deal. One of the biggest areas for potential savings is utilities. If you're paying for water, gas, or electricity for the entire property, look into submetering each unit. This makes tenants responsible for their own consumption, which not only lowers your expenses, but also encourages them to be more mindful of their usage. Another powerful strategy is to invest in energy-efficient upgrades. Swapping out old appliances for new Energy Star models might have an upfront cost, but the long-term savings on electricity bills can be substantial. Installing low-flow toilets and shower heads can drastically reduce water consumption and your water bill. Upgrading to LED lighting throughout the property is another easy win that cuts down on electricity costs and maintenance. Since the bulbs last much longer, by systematically reducing these operational costs, you increase your net operating income just as effectively as if you had raised rents. The beauty of forced depreciation is how it multiplies your efforts. Let's use a simple example. Say you have a property that generates a net operating income of $50,000 a year. In your market, properties like this sell at a 5% cap rate. To find the value, you divide the NOI by the cap rate. So, 50,000 divided by 0.05 gives you a property value of $1 million. Now, let's say you implement some of the strategies we talked about. You do some light renovations, which allows you to increase your annual rental income by $10,000. You also install energy-efficient lighting and fix some plumbing leaks, which cuts your annual utility expenses by $5,000. You've now added a total of $15,000 to your net operating income. Your new NOI is $65,000. Now, let's see what that does to your property's value, using the same 5% cap rate. 65,000 divided by 0.05 equals $1.3 million. By increasing your net income by just $15,000, you've forced the appreciation of your property by $300,000. That is the incredible power of this strategy. You didn't wait for the market. You created that value yourself. This approach completely changes how you look at real estate. You stop hunting for the perfect turnkey property and start looking for opportunities. You see an outdated kitchen not as a flaw, but as a chance to add value. You see poorly managed expenses not as a headache, but as a path to higher profits. You become a problem solver and a value creator. This mindset is what separates amateur investors from professional operators. Professionals don't just buy assets. They buy opportunities to improve assets. They know that the real money is made not when you buy, not when you sell, but in the work you do in between. Forced depreciation gives you control in an industry where so much can feel out of your control. You can't predict interest rates. You can't control market sentiment. And you certainly can't control what the house down the street sells for. But you can control your property's income and expenses. You can control the quality of your renovations. You can control your management efficiency. By focusing on what you can control, you build a more resilient and profitable real estate portfolio. Have you ever looked at a real estate deal and thought, this looks terrible on paper? Maybe the cash flow is barely breaking even, or maybe it's even negative in the first year. Your first instinct might be to toss it aside and look for something that promises instant profits. But hold on a second. What if I told you that some of the best, most life-changing investments are the ones that look a little ugly at first? Today, we're diving deep into why smart investors often choose deals that seem lackluster initially, because they're playing the long game that you need to know about. So, let's get one thing straight. The numbers you see on a pro forma or a property listing are just a snapshot in time. They tell you what's happening right now, but they don't always tell you what's going to happen tomorrow, next year, or 10 years down the line. The biggest mistake I see new investors make is getting obsessed with day one cash flow. One of the most powerful but often overlooked forces in real estate is equity growth through mortgage payment. Every single month, when you or your tenant makes that mortgage payment, a portion of it goes toward the principal. It's like a forced savings account. In the early years of a 30-year mortgage, a larger chunk goes to interest. Sure, but even then, a small piece is chipping away at your loan balance. This process is slow and steady, almost invisible on a month-to-month basis. It doesn't show up on your cash flow statement. But over 5, 10, or 15 years, it adds up to a massive amount of wealth. Let's run a simple example. Now, let's add the second magic ingredient, appreciation. This is where things get really exciting. Appreciation is the increase in your property's value over time. While mortgage paydown is a predictable slow march, appreciation can be like hitting the accelerator. When you combine the two, it's like a wealth-building superpower. Smart investors don't just buy in any market. They study trends, job growth, population shifts, and infrastructure projects. They're looking for areas that are poised for growth. They're buying that sapling in a location with the best soil and sunlight. Furthermore, a property that looks bad on paper might have hidden value-add opportunities. Maybe the rents are way below market value because the previous owner was lazy or didn't know better. A savvy investor sees this and knows that with some simple cosmetic updates, new paint, new flooring, maybe some new appliances, they can justify raising the rent to market rates. Let's say a property has 2 units, and each is rented for $200 below market. That's a $400 per month opportunity. Initially, the deal might be negative cash flow, but the investor has a plan. They budget for the renovations. Once the work is done and new tenants are in place at the higher rent, that negative cash flow deal is suddenly a strong positive cash flow deal. Not only that, but by increasing the net operating income, they have also forced appreciation. Commercial properties are often valued based on their income. By increasing the income, you've directly increased the value of the property, separate from market appreciation. This is what's called buying the potential. You're not buying the property as it is. You're buying it for what it can become, with your vision and execution. These deals require more work. Sure, you can't just buy them and sit back, but the rewards can be exponentially greater. These are the deals that create generational wealth. So, how do you spot these diamonds in the rough? First, you have to shift your mindset. Stop screening deals just based on the cash-on-cash return in year one. Start looking at the bigger picture. Ask yourself these questions. 1. Where is this property located and where is the area headed? Do your homework on the city, the neighborhood, and the specific street. Look for signs of growth and investment. 2. Is there a clear path to increasing the property's income? Are rents below market? Is there space to add another bedroom, a bathroom, or even an accessory dwelling unit? And 3. What is the long-term appreciation potential? Even if it's just a stable, modest market, the combination of appreciation and loan paydown is powerful over time. And 4. What's the story of the property? Why is it for sale? A tired landlord? An inherited property? So the next time you see a deal that doesn't immediately jump off the page with amazing cash flow, don't be so quick to dismiss it. Dig a little deeper. Look for the hidden story. Analyze the long-term potential for equity growth through both loan paydown and appreciation. Consider the value-add opportunities you could bring to the table. Playing the long game in real estate is how real, sustainable wealth is built. It's about having the vision to see what an asset can become, not just what it is today. Don't let a bad first impression on paper rob you of a winning long-term investment. Thanks for watching, everyone. If this changed your perspective on evaluating deals, hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you on your real estate journey. I'll see you in the next video.